I can only give you a personal theory on this, so I have nothing to back this stuff up. I'm just giving you a personal theory of mine. I think that most of these data centers are malevolent in nature. I don't think that they exist, that they're doing all this just so they can sell you more tube socks online. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has to do with cataloging movements, cataloging mannerisms, cataloging basically everything about everyone, and being able to think of it like this. If they know your movements, they know what you're thinking, they know what you're doing, they know your habits and behaviors on your phone and on your iPads and computer and so on. They know your digital footprint. And then you finally, let's say that you have enough of all of the control, and you're like, okay, that's it. We got to do something about this. This is too much. You know, they're printing money to worthlessness. They're destroying everybody, and they're disappearing people. So we need to band together and do something. As soon as you or a group of people, their digital footprint changes, and they're not online as much, and they're not doing whatever it is they used to do all the time, then it's going to kick out potential people who, you know, I can't say the word. I'm trying to figure out how to say. It's like it's becoming difficult actually to communicate on these platforms, because there's so many words that get taken out, and that they algorithmically distort everything. But the Orange Messiah just declared a recent group, as of the time of this recording, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, a blank organization. Okay, so you have to look that up. They said, oh, well, this group is a blank organization. Yeah. So if people's digital footprint starts changing, and they start getting away from from the phones and the algorithms and and start going and doing things more in person, away from phones, away from where they can be heard, then that causes that problem, right? And so that's what I think a lot of that. I realize I have to speak a little bit in code when I try to answer this kind of thing, again, because otherwise, my answer will get shut down. It's happened before, where I'll answer somebody's question. I use 2-3 keywords, and they take the audio away. So, it violates some kind of guideline. Well, it doesn't. It's like, okay, well, what is the guideline? Of course, nobody knows what any of these guidelines are, and they change, like the wind. So that would be what I would say. That's my theory behind all of that, and it's not a good one. You're probably not going to like it, but that's what I see coming, and it's just going to get worse with even more surveillance. And you've got these companies that are buying up TikTok and others, and it's always the same people involved in all of this. It's always the same hedge funds, and it's always the same group of billionaires that are constantly, always and forever bailed out. And I'm trying to think of how I want to say that. These are counterfeiting rings. That's really what these are. And if you really want, it's really boring. There's no big mystery behind it, at least not in my mind. It's just a counterfeiting ring. It's all it is legalized counterfeiting of US dollars and probably other currencies as well. And in order to keep these people quiet, you give them power, you give them positions, where they make $174,000 a year, yet their net worth is $100 million. Or the one, who had a net worth of like 65 grand a few years ago, now it's 30 million, right? And, with $174,000 a year base salary. So that's how you keep these people quiet. And then if they start to act up or anything like that, then they go to the island, right? Where, and it's like there's this idea I think that people have in their mind, and this is just me talking at this point, just thinking out loud. There's this idea I think people have in their mind of like, oh, the island, yeah, where it was like the so-called party and, a few underage girls. No. That's not what I think happened there. I don't think it's quite that simple. In fact, I can't even tell you what I think, because, you know, it's like for real, I seriously can't even say the words of what I actually think was going on there, because that's just how I think. And if I can think like that, then so can someone else. Right? That's kind of how it works. So, anyway, I hope that answers your question.